Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tekkify. As you could probably see in front of me, nothing really has changed around here, although I have patched up the dirt slightly, but today we're going to be doing something rather interesting, because I have finally decided on how I'm going to leave these. It's a slight change in the design. Basically the idea is it's going to be 7 of these, and then there's going to be chests there, and a furnace on the inside. It just randomly came to me, so I thought it'd be brilliant. And it looks actually pretty decent. However, I've now expanded the back room, and that's because today we are going to focus on making a smeltery. I've already gathered some of the materials together because we have gravel, sand, and clay, which is what we need to make grout, which I will do that now. I have a funny feeling this isn't going to be enough to actually make the smeltery itself. And by not enough, I mean like really not enough, and I'm going to have to go get more. Fortunately, sand is in plentiful supply, and I already have tons and tons of gravel. Clay is also in plentiful supply as well, so clay blocks, and this can go in any arrangement. This is shapeless crafting, so just go ahead like that, and we end up with our grout. Now the grout goes into one of the furnaces. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 coal, because this splits into 8 4 times, like so. So I can cook the grout very, very fast like this. This is exactly why I made more than one furnace, because it's just so much easier being able to split up the workload between them. It means a lot more clicking for me, but, you know, it's quite useful actually. Let's see. So yeah, these things really, really don't go very fast whatsoever. Like, just look at that. The speed of a snail. Absolutely slow. But once one's done in one furnace, or once the last one's done in the first furnace, then you can just start going around and collecting them all from the various furnaces. Very first thing we're going to need is a controller, which means I need 8. I believe it is. 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, while the rest of them cook, I'll do a little bit more explaining. The reason for this room's shape and the reason for the hole in the floor is this 3x3, 9 bricks. Is going to be the basis of the smeltery, and this means that the rest of the room is going to be filled with the smelter itself around the edges. That'll be pretty good. To prepare for this, I've also been out mining and getting a little extra stuff. I haven't been able to come across much tin and copper because I was mining at too lower depths for most of it, but I've been able to get a fair bit of redstone and ferrous and lots of iron, which is really nice. It's going to be good to get some initial tools. It won't be the fastest, they won't be the best, but we can work on that. Just getting some Tinker's Construct tools out of the way and done will be extremely helpful. Alright, keep clicking the wrong things and expecting the inventory to come up. There we go. Right, so the first thing we want to make is we want to make a controller, which is like that, like a furnace, much like that. The smeltery controller, for me personally, I generally just stick it like that. And for the rest of the bricks, I want to fill in the center of that. So I'm going to want these. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to have enough of these bricks. I'm going to make all the specialized parts first, because, you know, just these bricks, they're just normal construction materials just to expand the smeltery. The specialized pieces take a bit more. I believe it's that, makes the smeltery drain. Smeltery drain like so. So I'm going to want smeltery drain on the front, like that. I'm also going to want to collect more of the bricks, because I need more of them. Yes, definitely not going to have enough this time around. I will have to go around mining more. Okay, so we have... Then we will need a faucet to go on here. I will also need a casting table, like so. Now the casting table goes directly beneath the faucet. You can change how this functions slightly to suit your needs. The actual thing is very modular, and I'm really, really happy with how those things are. The first iteration of the it wasn't as flexible as it is now. There's various things that have been added and stuff, and it's just a beautiful mod. But it can be a little overpowered because of just how flexible it is. So let's get these parts. Dear. Now, the problem with that is that we are going to need a piece of sand. I believe we're going to need more sand. Okay, we're going to need more of these anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to get more materials right now. I think we have enough gravel, but I don't remember. We do not have enough gravel. Well, we have enough gravel to get started. There's extra in the chest there. Any more gravel around here? No. Here? No. Okay, alright, well, we'll start with 32 gravel. Let's get the whole of this out. And 1, 2, 3. Let's get 7 gravel back in. There we go. Right, okay, so it's not everything, but that should be plenty. 32 clay blocks, that's more than I needed. I think I kind of estimated this all entirely wrong. Not to worry, though. we can get this done. Right, so this will give us 64 grout. So you can see just how much grout you'll get out of all these, doing all this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with like that. No, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That should be enough. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. And let's start plugging these in. Grout and coal, and grout and coal. For some reason my left arrow decided to continue on for a moment there. That was really, really weird. We also probably want to make ourselves, or use an extra furnace, because we want to stick down 8 of our sand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of our sand to be cooked up into glass. Yeah, that is 8, good. Sometimes inventory tweaks and just server-client interaction in general means that it doesn't always tell you the correct amount of items that have gone in. So you'll like right-click 8 times to put one item in 8 times, and it will say 7, and actually there is actually 8 in there, or sometimes it'll say 8 and it has only put 7 in there. You know, slight errors like that crop up. Come on. Right, so we just need the 1 for the moment, because what I need is a seared tank. This will be our fuel source, which will be lava. Now, I think the graphics of this are going a bit funny. Ooh, that's messing with my head. Interesting. I think something's gone a bit weird with that. Ooh. I think that might be Optifine, actually, because Optifine recently updated to C1, because all the previous versions of Optifine got destroyed, basically, by a Forge update. None of them worked anymore. I only have that for now. I can move this later. I'll leave this on the front for now, just for display purposes. And what I need is, I need my iron. Where is my iron? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so that should be enough. I'm going to craft 2 buckets. And now what I need to do is I need to go to the resource world, which I think I still have access to. Home rec for me. Okay, so that's 2 lava source blocks in there. This thing isn't even on, so it will not dare touch that or burn it up, which is good. 19 gravel now. Not quite what I was after, but that is still 16 gravel. Okay. So, why don't we spread that there like that, put that in, and that give us a bunch more grout, which we can then stick through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just shove all of the extras in before these are done, so that it's done in the least time possible. We've got no downtime. 10, 10, 10, and 10. That is good. That is very good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use 36 of this to make 9 bricks, which I can then throw down as the very base of this. Like so. Seared bricks. Wonderful. Excellent. Now we have a beautiful looking floor. I mean, look at the texture. They're actually lovely. I would use a times 128 fax, but it seems to be having some issues lately. I can't run it for some reason. I'll be looking into that. Also, 128, it's just a lot more laggy, and times 64 looks good enough, so yeah, anyway. So 3, 3, 3, and 3. Okay, that's 16. What we want, what would be ideal, is we'll have another casting drain and basin and all that good stuff. So we'll have that. Another drain. Another faucet. Oh, 16 is exactly the amount. And instead of the table, which is the other way around, we do it like this, which gives us a basin. It's basically an upside-down table. So basically the legs get filled in and the whole thing gets turned upside down. It's certainly an interesting way of doing things. I was actually originally, that's the reason I was umming and ahhing over the position of this, is because I want the other drain here. Oh, not the block I should have knocked out. Let's go with that. Also, we need to make ourselves another shovel. Right, so smelter drain, and which position was it? There we go. See, inventory tweaks didn't show the faucet didn't show up in there, but I knew it was in there because I'm very used to how it acts. It's just like, not going to show my face. That's very kind of it. Very, very kind. Sometimes makes me want to kill it, but it's fine. It's fine. I can't. It's too useful for that. There we go, another iron spade. And I know I've just wasted materials, but to be honest with you, we're going to be smelting up a good old bunch of iron shortly, so it won't matter. Load of extra glass, which we're going to use in an absolutely wonderful way once this rest of this grout is done. Okay, let's go with 6. Let's grab 6. 6. 6. And 6. Okay, 24. So what you want is we want that. Basically, a seared window. Now, this won't really be of much use, but when I increase the height of this seared window will allow us to kind of peer into it while the rest of it's just normal bricks. This means I'm actually going to need 2 of them because I need an even amount again. It's seared window. There we go. So it's going to go to the ceiling. Basically, it's going to self-cap so nobody can fall in. Hopefully, we won't have mobs spawning in there, but I will probably change this central block up here for some kind of light source, actually. There we go, and good. That wasn't the surface randomly, thankfully. I know the one rule of Minecraft is don't dig directly up, but usually I have good enough reaction times when I'm paying attention to actually dodge anything, especially when I'm only hacking out the one block and we're near the surface. It's just so unlikely for anything to show up. What we want is, for now, let's just stick a torch in there. That'll do. There we go. Hopefully that means that nothing will spawn in that stupid little area in there, because the bricks are going to enclose it so much that these windows just will not let in enough light. Seed tanks don't really make light inside very easily, I don't think. In fact, I don't think they do that at all. So that's not good. Ah, the furnaces are done. Do we have enough grout? That is the question. Now, because we're doing it in batches of 4, I know I'll have a multiple of 4. There we go. So we're going to end up with 8 blocks. That is pretty much everything we need right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. We have a functioning smeltery. Now, the point of this being is you need on the same layer as the controller. Not the same layer as the controller. You have your bottom layer, which makes the floor of the basin. You can make it bigger than this. You don't have to do what I've done, which is the skimping out mode. You can make it a proper square. You can make all the bits like here and here. If I got here and here and here, you can make all those bits at blocks as well. The side bits here, you can make them into blocks. But you don't have to, because it will still accept this shape. What you need is the basin. Then you also need the controller on the first outer edge level. You will probably want a drain, but you can have these higher up. You will definitely want a seed tank, because this thing will happily form with just bricks, the controller, and the tank, but you're kind of, it will still accept smelting, but you need a way to get it out of there, so you'll want drains and probably faucets and casting tables, but you might have a different idea in mind depending on your knowledge of the mod. Anyway, first thing would be to grab the one item I don't have, which is gold. Because I need 2 gold. I can also make aluminum brass, though, which, if I find my aluminum... where are you? I swear I had some around here. I'm blind. I know I'm blind. Aluminum! Right, okay, so the aluminum gets melted down in the smeltery, and the use for that in the smeltery is... aluminum brass. So it's a ratio of 3 to 1 copper. Aluminum to copper. So let's grab the 1 copper ore, and we can use this properly. So 3 to 1. Oh, okay, actually melted very, very quickly. So we've got 6 ingots in there. We're gonna end up with a whole bunch of aluminum brass, which is good in some ways. Because we're gonna need. I should end up with 8 ingots total, I think, and that means we'll end up with enough for making a bunch of casts. Now, the problem with this is I've started all this, but I need the other half of it all, which involves grabbing a load of logs and wood. There we go. So what I want is I want to make a bunch of sticks, and take those sticks and some wood, and I want to make blank patterns. I'm going to just make those for now. I can always make more later because I've got extra sticks for other reasons. Now what I want is I want a log, but I also want to put a pattern above it. That gives us the part builder. I then want a plank and put a pattern above it as well. In fact, I'm just going to leave the whole bunch of patterns there. Stencil table. I can't actually. And I make a crafting table, which I can put in, turn it into a crafting station, which is useful, but personally I find them a little laggy. Not very used to them myself, but I put pattern above that, and it turns into a tool station. Now, the stencil table turns these patterns into stencils. The part builder, you take raw material kind of things with the stencils you've made and turn them into inverted molds, then you use those. Rather than explaining this, I'll show you. It'll be much, much better. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to replace you with this. So, let's go here, place you there. And the part builder... Actually, no, tool station I want somewhere else. In fact, why bother with these positions? Actually, you know what? Let's stick them somewhere slightly more useful. It's cool to scatter it all about and make it look good, but we need somewhere a bit more useful, so let's just go with here. Right, so, what we want is we want the part builder there, tool station here, and stencil table here. There we go. Stencil table requires patterns. Now you see this humongous GUI will vary depending upon your mod pack what it gives you, because there's a bunch of stuff over here, but some of it's been disabled. So what we want initially, because we want a pick that doesn't run out as easily, we're going to want a tool rod pattern, and we're going to want a tool binding pattern, and we're going to want a pickaxe head. For now, that's the starters. With the part builder, we then go ahead in here, grab that, and we want to grab some cobble. There we go, and then we do this, so this gives us a stone pickaxe head. Ooh. Stone pickaxe head, which we can then grab out of there, and give us a stone tool rod. Now, this stone shard effectively can be considered half a cobblestone. So I'll grab it out there. That won't make another rod, that's just showing up so you can grab it. But I can stick that down here, because this has a material cost of 0.5 and so does that. So what I can do is I can use the stone shard to make the binding instead. Not everything has a material cost of 0.5, this has a material cost of 1. So, 1 whole cobblestone. For example, these plates, they have a material cost of 8, and most of the advanced stuff does. It's very 8. 1, 0.5, it varies. Large blade, 8. Normal blade, 1. Rapier blade, knife blade, sorry, 0.5. Various different things. Just leave that over on there for now. That was the last thing. I don't want to leave it at just this, though, so what I want is I want somewhere to stick all my damn spare patterns like that, so I'm going to need one of the stencils and a chest. Like so. And I can make a pattern chest. Excellent. So now I will just stick the pattern chest in here. It's got a slightly different hitbox than the rest, but you can't. It's you walk on it like a full block, but it looks different. So sorry, no, it has the same hitbox. I can stick all the extra stencils in here when I'm not using them, and the good thing as well is this thing will happily just store the cobblestone, so I just leave it like that. Now that I've got this, though, I can't just put this together as the pick. Well, I mean, I could, but it's just not useful. So I'm going to do this. I pour casts on them. There we go. And we end up with the stone pickaxe head back and an actual pickaxe head cast. I do this with all parts. All of the parts. And we end up with our various parts and casts and the stone tool rod. Now, the reason I'm doing it like this as well is I'm not going to have to make as many casts because I'm going to have all sorts. But I'm going to make one last cast. One last one. And I'm going to make an axe head pattern. Because I want an axe head as well. I'm going to put that there. So you just right click the casting table with your various parts. Oh, dear. And there we go. Okay, so we have our various things. Now these can be put in here, but these parts cannot. I was about to get them mixed up and say you can't put the casts in there and you can put the parts in there. No, it's not. It's the other way around. You can't put the parts in, but you can put the casts in. Once you've got the parts like this, generally speaking, I just shove them somewhere. I don't really get rid of them. That's not necessarily what you might want to do. You might find them just no longer useful in any function. So that's not good. Now what we want, what we really, really want, is we want to melt down a load of our iron. Now, at the moment, this will only fit 9 ores. So effectively, consider it however many blocks worth of space you could physically fill up in there with an ore block. That's how many slots you'll have in here. As we raise this, one more level will give us 18, and another level will give us 27, which is pretty decent. So at the moment, we can only fit 9, so I'm just going to throw in 8 iron ore, and that should do us. Starting to run out of time in the episode here. We're getting to 30 minutes of recording, and need to kind of get this done. Melt! Part of the reason I have it as well is I have a slightly ulterior motive, because I actually need an ingot to cast. So if I stick a brick in there, some of the aluminum brass can be used as a cast for ingots. Now, this thing will look a bit differently shaped, because ingots usually are, and bricks have a different shape, but there is our ingot cast. So if we want to cast an ingot of iron, we just stick that down, and we'll right-click this once we've got our iron. I could extract aluminum brass. Why is there 3? Does an ingot cast only require 1? Interesting. That is something I didn't know about, actually. I thought they all cost 2, unless we had more than I thought. Anyway, so now we have 16 iron in there. Now, these various parts only require 1.5 respectively, so 0.5, 0.5, 1, and the head cast in there is just 1. So we'll make an iron head, which I did make sure that was the right way around. Yeah, left click whatever you want to go to the bottom, and I can't remember if it was right click to send stuff to the top, but whatever. You can rearrange the metals there. Whatever's on the bottom will drain out first. We then want an axe head cast. Fill that up. Oh, come here. And we want our... Alright, I just want to double check before we overmake anything. The tool station is where things get made. So if I want to make a pickaxe, I need a head, binding, and a rod. If I want to make an axe, I don't need the binding, I just need the head and the rod, which is a bit different. Do I want a shovel? That's the question. I do want a shovel, because that will cost... I'm thinking cleverly here, because I don't need a binding for the axe head cast, it will leave me with 0.5 of a half an ingot left over. So what I want is I want a shovel head. Stick you in there. Get myself a shovel head. And I will take that out for a moment. Stick the shovel head in here. Change around the aluminum brass that's on the bottom. And make a new cast. Okay, no, it is only 1 every time. Oh, so it's 2 gold ingots, or 2 gold, or 1 aluminum brass. Right, that makes much more sense. So we now have the iron back on the bottom, and we're going to just dump the stone head in there. Here's where things get interesting. Stick the binding back down. We only need the 1 binding. However, we need 3 tool rods. So you come out, stick the tool rod down, and we can just fill this baby with tool rods. 1, 2. Come on. Come here. 3. There we go. Now, how much iron do we have left? 12 ingots of iron left. Good. That is exactly what we need. And then I also need a shovel head to go with it all. So, we now have exactly 11 ingots left, so I've used 5 ingots to make 3 tools, as compared to how much it would cost normally, which would be about 5 ingots for 3 tools, but I made it out of iron bindings and rods and stuff. So what we want is iron tool rod, binding, and pickaxe head. It's an iron pickaxe. I'll call it Barry. I always like calling my picks weird things. I'm gonna have a shovel, which we got there, and an Betty, and an axe, which actually will do that anyway because it's the relevant slots, but I always try and make sure I change over the hatchet cast. And Gerald. There we go. So now we have 3 tools to replace our current tools. Now these are repairable, which means that we won't actually need to worry about having to recraft every time. I know I've only just made these, but I just don't need to, really. Now, the good thing as well about these is they all have modifiers on them, so not only can I repair them and stuff, but I can also make them better. And the best thing, really, to do is just get a bunch of redstone. Now, this is going to cost a fair bit of redstone. There we go. Hang on, how much is that? There we go. See, that's the little error happening again. Like I said, didn't register it properly. There was actually 50 there, but it told me there was 49 on the client. Not good. Now I can't do it in a normal crafting table, I have to go to the tool station. This mode here, which is called the repair mode, basically it's just 2 slots for modifiers or repair materials and 1 slot for the actual tool itself. In this case I do want to apply this to my pick. So I want to do like this, however this is going to require 25 clicks. So one way to make this more efficient immediately is to take this and make 5 redstone blocks and 5 redstone normal dust. This will now require only 5 clicks, and you're going to understand why. This makes a much more pleasant sound than the more advanced version. Just sawing sounds. But if you have to listen to that 25 times in a row and you're clicking pretty fast, it starts to get on your nerves, especially when it starts to make dinking sounds when you equate this to a tool forge instead of a tool station. In fact, I will show you that now. Yeah, so it's a decent speed kind of stuff already. But if I press U on this, tool forge, there we go. So it's iron and seared bricks, but because it's iron, it sounds more like an anvil, if you will, like someone using an anvil, and it just dink, 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 and you hear that 50 times in a row, constantly. It just drives you nuts. So this thing now has a speed of 10. 50 redstone adds 4 speed, which is really good. So these have base speeds of 6, so do the pick. There's 2 modifiers remaining as well. So, we should probably go to the home resource world and show off how fast this can go in comparison. Actually, before I go, let's cancel that and grab the normal iron pick. For me, it's just short for resource, it means less typing. Let's go with stone. So, that's how fast this goes now. It's not terribly fast, but it's something you would consider maybe reasonable. Then there's this. Now, it doesn't seem much faster, but it is faster. But in the same space of time, I've covered about 2 more blocks. So, while it may not feel like it's worth it, over time it will become worth it. One of the best things to do with this, let's just use this to replace the iron we've used. One of the best things to do with this is to continue adding redstone, but also add something like moss for repair, or if you start approaching very high speeds but have power available, you can flux the pick instead. And then you can carry a capacitor around on it. It does mean that one of your hotbar is filled, but we will get to that later on. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope you found this useful. This is going to help me a lot, and I'm going to get a bunch more mining done so that we can do a whole load of other stuff next episode. I will end this on a time-lapse rather than next time, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!